Coming up on Look Today, well, the Warren County Board of Supervisors passes a resolution calling on the state of New York to take regulatory action against a Log Bay Day event. I've got details. And Art in the Park in Saratoga Springs features the work of up to 60 artists. More on that coming up. And Heather Hickland, the director of the World Awareness Children's Museum in Glens Falls, resigns. I've got some details. It's all ahead on Look Today. Welcome everyone, I'm Jay Hood Jackson and this is Look Today. In tonight's program, I sit down with Elizabeth Meehan. She's a founding member of the upcoming Peace Fair, which starts this Wednesday, September 21st and runs through Sunday. Happens in Saratoga Springs. I also talk with Jamie Williams. She's the Associate Director for the Franklin Community Center. She's here to talk about the upcoming fundraiser, Project Lift. Plus, we've got your weather for the Tri-North counties, but first, these headline stories. In our lead story, the Warren County Board of Supervisors has passed a resolution that calls for regulations on the annual Log Bay Day event in Lake George. Now, in recent light of the tragedy that occurred at the event this summer, many are upset and question the merits of Log Bay Day. Now, a resolution was passed calling for the DEC and the Lake George Park Commission to take regulatory action. Now, currently, the event is non-sanctioned. Now, what that means is that an informal gathering cannot be banned by Warren County. Well, we spoke to Claudia Bramer. She's a Warren County supervisor for Ward 3.
Well, we've been having ongoing concerns about the activities at Log Bay Day for the last several years, and particularly this summer when there was the death of the small girl. And so the County Board of Supervisors wanted to pass a resolution asking for the state, particularly DEC, Department of Environmental Conservation, and the Lake George Park Commission to take some action to rein in those activities and perhaps stop that altogether.
In other news, well, the annual Art in the Park took place in Congress Park in Saratoga on Saturday. Now, Art in the Park is a day of fine art in the historic downtown Congress Park, presented by Saratoga Arts. Well, this year's event showcased the art of up to 60 artists. Everything from paintings to photography to handcrafted jewelry was on display. Well, we spoke to Allison Ferry. Now, she's an artist and photographer, and we spoke to her about her work, which focuses on horses.
Well, I have a passion for horses, so living in the Saratoga area, there's no shortage of horses for me to photograph. But these guys are from Corova, North Carolina. We usually vacation there in the summer, and they're wild Spanish Mustangs, and they roam free on the beaches, so I just spend my days photographing them.
It was a great event. Switching from news to weather. After a night of stormy weather, the humidity, guess what? It's decreasing, thankfully. Let's see how the rest of the week is shaping up. For a more detailed look at our weather, we're going to head to the Glens Falls Weather Center for a look at your first forecast. Back to the news. Well, Glens Falls firefighters dealt with a third fire this past weekend. Now, the latest fire hit a home on Platt Street in Glens Falls. The fire was reported on Saturday around 7 p.m. The cause of this fire is deemed suspicious. Now, a man was arrested after he was seen at the location and a fire that we reported last week on Culvert Street. Adedep White, who was a resident of the Culvert Street apartment building, admitted he started that fire when he threw a lit cigarette into a pile of laundry. Well, according to residents, he was in the process of being evicted. Now, White's role in the most recent fire is still under investigation. Thankfully, no injuries were sustained at the Platt Street fire. Well, we spoke to Sean Wood. He's a neighbor, and he helped one of the residents at the time of the fire.
Came over here with my girlfriend, and I saw the lady that lives in here running from that way, screaming and yelling and crying and saying, my cats, I lost my cats and I lost everything. And then she tripped and fell, and I went to go help her, and she told me to get out of the way, so I said, okay.
That can be devastating. In other news, well, Heather Hickland, a frequent guest here on Look TV, who's the director of the World Awareness Children's Museum in Glens Falls, has announced that she will resign. Now, this will be effective September 24th. Heather, who is a director of the museum since 2014, is going to move to Omaha, Nebraska. We're going to have more on this in the coming days when we get to talk to her. Up next, I sit down with Elizabeth Meehan. She's a founding member of the upcoming Peace Fair, which starts this Wednesday, September 21st, and runs through Sunday in Saratoga. Plus, I also sit down with Jamie Williams. She's the Associate Director of the Franklin Community Center, and she's here to talk about the center's upcoming fundraiser, Project Lift. But first, if you see news happening, you want to share a story idea, how about join us for an interview? Give us a call on the hotline. The number is 798-8000. Well, that's all the time we have for this edition of Look Today. Well, tonight's lookouts are personal. I had a big, chill weekend this past weekend. Anybody over 50 knows exactly what I'm talking about. Well, it started off with my parents' 70th anniversary. It was really remarkable to see them and just help celebrate 70 years of being married. And then, believe it or not, I got together with high school people I probably haven't seen in over 40 years. Now, outside of the fact it was a little tough getting out of the car, thinking to myself, uh-oh, what am I walking into? And then before you know it, it's absolutely amazing. It's very interesting because all of a sudden you'll hear a gesture that you remember. You'll see a smile. You'll hear a laugh. And all of a sudden it all comes back to you again. And quite honestly, my generation, the big chill, we knew how to have fun. And by the time we finished talking, after hours and hours, it was just a blast. So I'm going to forget people, of course, but quickly, Carol, Kathy, Bernadette, Marilyn, Rick, Fred, John, Regis, and Dwayne, who could sing the Rascals like nobody. It's great to see all of you, and I hope to see you again. Tonight on Look TV, it's Beyond the Headlines and Tracks. That's our music show. Don't forget, tune in tomorrow night for the stories that matter to you. Good night, everyone.